What's up YouTube? Roland and O'Connor here from Tier 1 Hosting Solutions. Here to bring you a quick little tutorial on how to get Altis Life running on a bone stock ArmA 3 server. So as you can see here, we've gone ahead and set up a 20 slot server just for demo purposes, and we're going to walk you through the steps on how to get Altis Life running on it. So Brolin, what is the first steps we're going to need to do here?
Alright, so the first step you guys are gonna want to do is to download the Altis Life server files, which will have a link in our description on how to get those. And so once you get those downloaded, you're gonna want to access your FTP. I do not use the file manager TCAdmin gives you because it's slow and it's just really hard to work with files. So I prefer to use an FTP client.
Okay, and how do we go about getting our FTP information?
Okay, so when your server gets created through TCAdmin, they automatically set you up with an FTP, which is awesome. So to access your FTP, you'll have your host name and your port right here. And I'll pull up FileZilla because that's what I like to use. When you pull that up, you'll put your host name and your port there. And your username and password is going to be your actual TCAdmin login, which is really simple. Okay, so here I have pulled up the main directory for this Altis Life server that we're going to set up. And on the left side, I have all your basic Altis Life files. Okay, so the @exitDB is going to be your database connection mod, which you have to have basically for Altis Life because Altis Life needs the database to save all the data in-game player accounts to gangs, houses, shops, etc. The @life server is the actual mod that ArmA 3 pulls to run the RPG scenario. The altis_life.altis is the mission file, which is what basically runs the ArmA 3 server. And then the two DLLs go along with the @extdb. Okay. So your first step once you get those files is to upload the @extdb, the @life_server, and the DLLs to your main directory. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, that's done. Your next step is to upload the mission file. Now your first step with this mission file before you upload it, it has to be packed into a PBO. A really good tool for that is PBO Manager, which you can download from ArmAholic, which will have a link in the description for that as well. And with Altis Life 4.0, which is what we're using, you'll have to disable SpyGlass because it has an issue and it likes to kick people for no reason. So I'll give you an example because I haven't did that, so we can do that together. So when I go in here, you'll want to go to SpyGlass. Go to the fn_init spy.sqf. We'll go ahead and open that up. I have already edited mine. So you'll see a line of text there and I'll show you what it says. This is what it'll say there. And you'll want to delete that and replace it with this. This basically tells SpyGlass to shut off. Don't turn on. We don't need you. And we'll have that description as well. So it'll make that a little bit simpler for you guys. Once that's done, now you want to pack it into a PBO. I have PBO Manager open, so we'll find that directory. There it is. And then you want to right click PBO Manager and then pack into altislife.altis PBO. So that's done. Go ahead and minimize that. Refresh this. There it is. Okay. So your mission files, they will go in your MP missions folder. You want to go ahead and upload that. Okay, so FTP wise, we are done. That is it. Next, we are on to the command line. We'll hit custom command line. We'll hit new. And then the description doesn't really matter what you put. I'm going to put Altis Life. And as far as some of these, you will not have access to edit only for my purpose. So for your mods, and you have to do this to run Altis Life, you'll want to add the @ext_db. I believe that's called a semicolon. and then you'll want to add the @life_server. And as far as your command line is done. And can't forget you have to select that. You basically tell TCAdmin to run your server off of this command line. So we'll want to go back. Once you have that set up, you will want to go back. I forgot, we do need to edit one file. Go to the @extdb main folder, and you'll see the config. So you want to open that up. I just downloaded it. Okay, and I've already changed mine, so this is the top.
Okay, so what are we doing here in this file?
So in this file, this is where you're basically going to implement the login for your database, which your hosting provider should have set up. You want to scroll down until you see line 66 and it'll say Altis Life. And it says this, blah, 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 which the name should already be there. I forgot I need to add test. So the username they should give you, if not, some people I don't think will provide you with a database. So if going so, you would have to set one up on your own, or you could purchase one through a third party. And if you had to do that, you would have to change the IP and the port, which they would give you. The username, I already have mine set, Altis Life Test, and my password, ABC123. I want to go ahead and save that real quick. Minimize this. Upload that. Okay, that is done. So your next step, go to your configuration files, and you'll want to find your server configuration or server.cfg. You'll want to edit that. This is where you can change your host name. You can make your server password locked. You can change your password for your admin, etc. You want to scroll down till you see class missions. And here's where you're basically going to tell your ArmA server, I need you to load this mission folder, which you'll put in here. And one tip is to make sure it is the exact same name as it shows right here, which mine is correct, so we'll hit save.
Quick note,
and as far
don't have to include the .pbo.
yeah, you do not need the extension because it'll automatically recognize it. So as far as server-wise, you're done. I'm going to go ahead and start that up. Make sure it stays running. And then I will switch us over to ArmA 3. Just a tip, when your server is starting up, sometimes they won't show the mission or any other information. They'll just show your server. So you want to go ahead and join. And with Altis Life 4.0, they will default have 4 public cop slots, which in a later video I'll show you how to edit that so you can make them all whitelisted if you wanted, or you can change the names. So for this purpose, we'll just join as a civilian. And keep in mind that the server is still loading up, so it will be a little bit slow.
For sure. When it's the first time you load your server, load into your server, it'll act like it gets stuck at 2 KB, but that's just because the server is actually loading up all the mission files for the first time, and it's just going to take it a minute.
Yeah, so that'll be delayed for a minute. There you go. See it going. And so another tip for when your server is starting up and you're just joining, as it's actually loading, all the objects, all the AI and etc., it's going to take you to a map when you join, which I'll show you. And it usually only does that as your server's just starting. Once your server's up and going, every time you join, it won't show that. We'll let this finish receiving. Any day now. Okay, so that's done. So there you see your mission load image, etc. In a later video, we'll show you how to do some basic editing of Altis Life and show you how to put in some basic scripts or add-ons. There's textures you can add for cops. There's a whole lot of things you can do. So here's what I was talking about. When your server's still setting up, it'll take you to the map. So you just want to hit continue, and it'll load you in. And then you'll want to select your spawn location, which there is ways you can change this. You can add more, take away. We'll go ahead and spawn in. And there it gives you your welcome message, gives you a whole bunch of details. And that is it. You are now playing Altis Life.
Hope this tutorial has been helpful for you guys. As always, like, subscribe, leave any comments or questions below. As I said earlier, we'll get back to those as quickly as possible. I think that's about it. This has been a tutorial from Tier 1 Hosting Solutions. You can check us out on the web. We'll put a link in the description below, or t1hostingsolutions.com.